Live from the WMSV TV studios at the College of Mount St. Vincent, this is Channel 8 News.
Good afternoon, everyone. Along with Nick Bucciero and Desiree Rosa, I'm Chris Sumo, and this is Channel 8 News. Our top story: parts of several Midwestern states lay in ruins today after a series of deadly tornadoes ripped through America's heartland yesterday, killing 6 people and injuring dozens more. The storm hit several Midwestern states in the late afternoon yesterday, spawning dozens of tornadoes and causing devastation across the region. Parts of Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, and Kentucky were struck by the storm system, leveling towns and leaving thousands homeless. The hardest hit of the states was Illinois, where 4 people were killed by the storm and hundreds more injured. With roads and other infrastructure severely damaged, authorities are still not sure how many might be hurt. The storm caused the cancellation of several flights landing in and passing over the area, as well as a 2-hour delay in the Chicago Bears football game against the Baltimore Ravens. Altogether, experts are reporting a total of 40 tornadoes hit the ground during the storm yesterday, and almost 90,000 people remain without power. The federal and local governments are working with the Red Cross and other relief organizations to bring aid to the region. Desiree?
Federal agents say that a missing woman from Hackensack, New Jersey may be one of the 11 victims believed to be slain by serial killer Israel Keys. Investigators say that 49-year-old Deborah Feldman was last seen on April 8, 2009. Keys admitted to authorities that he abducted a woman on April 9, 2009. He admitted that he killed the victim and buried her somewhere in upstate New York. Before Keys committed suicide last year, FBI agents showed him a photo of men and women who were abducted to see if he would admit to killing any of them. When they came across Feldman photos, he told authorities that he was not ready to speak about the case. Keys committed suicide in his jail cell in Alaska last December after getting arrested in March 2012. He left a note in his cell, but no evidence or remorse for his actions. Nick?
Police say a drug raid in Ulster County turned up more than 550 bags of heroin, as well as the painkiller, oxycodone, and drug packaging materials. The Ulster Regional Gang Enforcement Narcotics Team received a tip about a heroin ring run out of an apartment in the village of Ellenville and obtained a search warrant. The narcotic officers and local police raided the apartment Thursday and found the heroin and oxycodone. Police arrested 28-year-old Rashawn Mack on the drug charges. He was convicted in the Town of Hurley Justice Court and jailed in lieu of $30,000 bail and $150,000 property bond. Police say Mack is a member of the Blood Street Gang. Chris?
The people of the Philippines are still reeling in the aftermath of Super Typhoon Haiyan, which has devastated the South Pacific region and brought the country to its knees. Thousands were killed by the deadly typhoon last week, and millions remain injured, homeless, and without food or medicine. Several countries, including the United States, continue to aid in the relief effort throughout the Philippines, and the government is being criticized for their slow response in the wake of the tragedy. Super Typhoon Haiyan, which struck last week, has destroyed villages across the island nation and left millions scrambling without power or aid. Looting has started to take place in areas hit hardest by the typhoon, as much-needed relief has been slow to reach the area. Government officials also fear the death toll will continue to rise in the area. Nick?
It's been 42 days since 14-year-old Devontae Akendo went missing from his school in Long Island City, and authorities are no closer to finding the missing autistic boy. Police have searched the subway, tunnels, conducted searches via air and water, and have posted the missing person posters throughout all 5 boroughs. A photo recently surfaced of a boy riding a subway train, but it turned out not to be Akendo. The city's Special Commission of Investigations is looking at how Akendo was able to leave school without being stopped. In addition, the Department of Education is taking new measures to make sure something like this does not happen again. The reward for the information leading to the teen's whereabouts has reached $95,000. Chris?
The death toll has risen to 12 in the aftermath of the suicide bombing that took place in Afghanistan capital of Kabul this Saturday. The blast took place outside the site of where key national council will be held next week. Among the topics to be discussed at that council will be a contentious security agreement with the United States. The Taliban has taken credit for the bombing, which has now left 12 dead, including 3 members of the Afghanistan National Security Force. This is the latest in a series of bombings linked to the Taliban that have targeted citizens working for the Afghani government. Desiree?
The percentage of middle school and high school students using emerged tobacco products is increasing, federal scientists recently reported. The Centers of Disease Control and Prevention studied that last year there was 6.7% of middle school students and 23.3% of high school students who surveyed that they have used tobacco products at least once in the last 30 days. 1 in 7 say that they have smoked cigarettes in 2011. From 2011 to 2012, the use of cigarettes by middle schoolers have doubled, going from 0.6% to 1.6%. The use of hookahs by Latinos alone has went from 1.7 to 3%. For high schoolers, e-cigarette use has gone from 1.5 to 2.8%, and the use of dissolvable tobacco has doubled from 0.4 to 0.8. The use of these new products have increased due to the fact that they leave no odor, burn holes, or stigma for being a smoker. They are also taxed lower than the rate of cigarettes or cigars and are much cheaper. Nick?
An 11-year-old boy was found handcuffed to his foster parents' porch with a dead chicken around his neck in North Carolina Friday. The Union County Sheriff's Office arrested Doreen Harper and Wanda Larson, a local Department of Social Services supervisor, as the police searched the home and found the shocking conditions. A deputy sheriff was responding to another call in the Monroe neighborhood Friday afternoon and saw the boy handcuffed to the porch. The dead chicken was hanging from his neck and the boy was shivering. When the deputy approached the home, Harper exited the house and asked the officer why he was there. Harper gave the deputy his license, but then another child in the house opened the door and released several large dogs, forcing the officer to flee to his car. Larson then took the child inside and threw the chicken carcass into a barrel. Police searched the home, and 5 children were removed from the home due to deplorable conditions inside. Desiree?
Kathy Amaya lives with the thought of thinking her long-lost son was gone forever. 35 years ago, when her estranged husband took the 2-year-old while visiting grandparents in Mexico, the U.S. Border Patrol called Amaya with information that a man was trying to cross the border and was her mother, and she was his mother. Amaya heard that her son in the background when Border Patrol called and felt as if she was with him in that moment. Border Patrol in California questioned the man, and he answered all of them correctly. After the testing, it was found that he in fact was her son. Amaya spent years searching for her son on Facebook and the internet, but she never could find him because he was using her maiden name as a part of his last. The lost person is staying in a church in San Diego and is planning to see his mother in person on November 24th. The Border Patrol is now raising funds for him to return home. The husband took the 2-year-old with him, saying that they were going on a daily outing 35 years ago, then took the boy away from home and brought him to Mexico for what was only supposed to be 1 month. After that, months became years, and the father returned to Chicago without the boy. The grandparents raised the young boy until he was well grown and was able to be on his own. The father only visited him a couple times after moving back to the States. Amaya apologized to her son for missing so many years of his life and is embracing the emotional miracle as it comes. Now here's Nick Buciero with the sports story.
Behind a rock-solid outing from goaltender Cam Talbot and an inspired performance throughout the entire lineup, the Rangers did something Sunday night that they had not done since the 2008-2009 season, and that's win a game at the Montreal Bell Center. The Rangers' 1-0 victory over the Canadiens on Saturday was their first after an 0-7 run in Montreal and was highlighted by Talbot's first career shutout in the NHL. While the Rangers played great defensively for their backup goaltender, Talbot stood out, making 22 saves and run his record to 4-1 in 5 starts since being recalled from the minors. Talbot has allowed 2 goals or fewer in each of his first 5 starts, making his last one in Montreal the perfect start, shutting out the Canadiens. The Rangers' lone goal came from the captain, Ryan Callahan, on a deflection which came from Brad Richards. The Rangers will head back to the Garden for a 2-game homestand, taking on the Kings and the Bruins. Now here's Chris Sumo with the football. Chris?
Well, after an 0-6 start, the New York Football Giants are very much alive in the NFC playoff picture. The latest victory came in against the Green Bay Packers, who were without starting quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Starting in his place, Scott Tolzien. Things started well for the Giants, with Eli Manning throwing a first-quarter touchdown pass to receiver Ruben Randell, with the Giants also getting a touchdown run from Brandon Jacobs. They were in a good position to win the game before the play of the day. Defensive end Jason Pierre-Paul, who had been nearly invisible all season, leaped up and intercepted a Scott Tolzien pass and returned it 24 yards for a touchdown. That fourth-quarter pick sealed the game for the Giants and sends them on their way to a 21-13 victory. Next week for the Giants is their biggest game of the year when they face divisional rival Dallas Cowboys in a game that could go a long way in deciding the divisional race. Now here's Desiree with an entertainment report.
Chris Brown is checked out of rehab this Thursday, but will continue the program as an outpatient. The singer entered a rehabilitation center after his release from jail in Washington, D.C. because of an assault charge. Brown has to complete 1,000 hours of community service because of his altercation with ex-girlfriend Rihanna. Brown is also on probation for the same incident. His representative shared that while he is in rehab, he wants to gain focus on his past and recent behavior. Outside sources say that Brown is entering a rehab center and is healthier vantage point for him. After several weeks of keeping her relationship under wraps, Eva Longoria stepped out over the weekend with her new man candy, Jose Antonio Bastin. Friends of Longoria have shared that Bastin courts Longoria like a proper gentleman and has been sweeping her off her feet. The actress, 38, was escorted at the Televisa red carpet this weekend by Bastin. The desperate housewife denied the businessman last month. For Christopher Sumo and Nick Bucero, I'm Desiree Rosa. Thank you for watching Channel 8 News.